This is Maya Murphy. She's just turned 1 on May 13th. She loves to talk and play on her table, and she's always smiling and laughing.
We were all getting a little bit concerned about some symptoms that we were noticing.
We noticed that she had a fever of 100. They took a bunch of tests and x-rays and drew blood, and then that's when they realized that her white blood count was 10 times what it was supposed to be. So they rushed us to the clinic where we had emergency surgery and chemo to her spine and brain, which in the end saved her life because they told us she would have died that night.
It was terrifying. It's scary when someone's so small has such like a serious illness.
We all started crying all at the same time.
Instant tears.
Your heart just drops down to your feet.
The hospital was very hard at times. We got very heavy chemos while in the hospital, so Maya had a lot of side effects, and you're beeping constantly. You never sleep through the night. You have nurses in and out of your room, but most of all, it's just very long and boring and lonely.
It's been a very trying experience, very emotional.
Having a baby in your teenage years, I imagine, is hard enough, let alone having the baby get sick. So it was just, felt like I needed to be there with her.
My sister stayed home from college and went to community college for the first semester and lived at the hospital with me and Maya.
It's changed all of our lives because we devote all of our time and energy to Maya and the current situation and what's going on, and we rearrange our lives accordingly.
Maya actually is an attention hog and loved all of the doctors coming into our room and all the nurses coming into our room and playing with her, but she loves being at home. You can tell the difference.
Despite, all of the trials, and not feeling well, she's always happy. She's laughing and just so sweet, so sweet.
She's actually doing really well. Her counts are low right now, so we're postponing our chemo, but she doesn't have any side effects and she's super happy. And as of now, she's leukemia free.
I go to Solon High School and I'm a junior, and I've had so much fun, doing show choir and drama club. I'm also in the Magical Choir, which is like a vocal jazz ensemble. I love sports too, a big Cleveland sports fan, unfortunately. I played football too, and I actually played 2 games with leukemia, and the doctors, were shocked at that. They couldn't believe that. They said I was lucky that I, didn't bleed internally or something out on the football field.
Vincent's attitude was, I don't know that any of us truly understood what leukemia meant yet, but we all know what cancer means. And I think his attitude is, well, okay, if it's cancer and you have those chemo drugs here, let's get started, because I've got football games to play. I need to be on the field for practice. And, again, I won't forget how crushed he looked when the doctor took his hand and said, oh, Vince, I'm so sorry, you don't understand. You won't be playing football the rest of the year.
And that's when the life goes out of you a little bit, because you're immediately into treatment, and it's shocking. From that point forward, life is different.
I've had a number of side effects, really. One which affected, my sports and, show choir, all that stuff, was vascular necrosis, and that still affects today, and that's like the death of bone. Like my ankles and toes, like you can actually see like I'm like missing parts of them, like the bones are just kind of just rubbing away. And then also, I had a stroke from being on a number of different medications at the same time. I had a blood clot in my brain. I have portal hypertension, so I'm bleeding. They don't really know where. I'm bleeding somewhere in my intestines. They can't really pinpoint it, so that makes it obviously difficult to try to treat. I don't have a lot of blood platelets. There's times where I didn't really have any. I don't know how many spinal taps I had to do. Like they would, take out spinal fluid, make sure it looked clear, and then they put in some chemo just while they were at it. And then I had several oral meds that I would take at home. And it was hard because, I'd taken so many pills eventually, like, my throat just kind of like wore out, and it was just hard for me to swallow. It was just exhausting, and it wasn't fun. I wouldn't recommend it.
Except for these bumps in the road and having to slow down, he's much the same kid we think he would have been at 17.
And it's impressive what he can do. It's impressive seeing him deal with disappointment and then get over it.
Remarkably, he was able to stay up to speed with school. He remained on the honor roll throughout treatment, so still able to keep his priorities in focus.
He knew what he had to do. He listened to what he was told and then just persevered through it.
I feel great. I was able to try out for show choir for my junior year, and I made it, and I had one of the most exciting years I could ever ask for. I'm Vincent Maiozzi, and I'm a cancer survivor.
The Leukemia Lymphoma Society has been outstanding.
They help you learn, and they're an excellent resource for finding out more about it.
They've always asked us if we needed anything, and they nominated her Girl of the Year, which has been a blessing. And overall, they're just a wonderful society, and they do so much for cancer.
They want to beat it as bad as I do.